Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So here we are with the new topic, that is OSI model. So this is very important topic as many conceptual questions are being asked from this topic. So let's start. So what is OSI model? So the full form is Open System Interconnection. Now in the first video only I have explained what is an open system and closed system. So basically open system are all those systems that are ready to communicate or that are ready to transfer the any data. If it is possible to transfer any data, or if it is possible to connect a system to any network, then what we call that specific system or device as an open system. Okay, so basically this OSI model, it contains a 7 layer. Okay, 7 layer model is there, which mainly explains, or it mainly describes how the communication between two devices or between two network happens. Okay, so if any data is being transferred, this 7 layer happens. Okay, so this is the first model that basically explains how the data is being transferred and what are the processes that are being followed, the steps are followed in sender part and receiver part. Okay, so we are going to see about each and every layer in detail. So before going further, just make sure that you guys have liked and you guys have subscribed to my YouTube channel. So yeah, okay. So open system OSI, open system interconnection, basically the full form is, it has been developed by ISO, International Organization of Standardization, in the year 1984. So you can remember this because sometimes it is being asked in MCQ type of questions. It is a 7 layer architecture, as we are going to see all those 7 layers in detail, with each layer having specific functionality. Means each layer describes what are the how the data is being formed into packets, how it get transformed into fragments, segmentation. So we are going to see about each and every layer. And also if you could remember that how we have categorized the network devices, like I have told you all that how bridge is in which layer the bridge is working, in which layer the switch is there. Okay, so now you can connect each and every video whatever you have learned till now. So yeah, okay, fine. So all these 7 layers work collaboratively to transmit the data from one person to another across the globe. So basically all these 7 layers is need to be covered whenever we are transferring any data. Okay, any data is transferred from one person to another or from one device to another, these 7 layers are being followed. Okay, now what are those 7 layers? So I will also tell you the trick how you can just remember. So it's basically A, P, S, T, N, D, P. Okay, just remember this. Either you mug up or just make some trick. That is, just remember this, and I hope it will be helpful for you all to remember all these 7 layers, because I generally prefer remembering this short form so that I can remember every thing, because what we are going to do, we are going to learn it conceptually. So if you just remember this short form, then you can actually remember what that specific layer is. Okay, so APST NDP, just remember this. Now A, that means application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and then the last one is physical layer. Now this is being followed in both the part, that is the sender part, means the sender side and the receiver side. Okay, now in which direction? So basically the sender is like this. The sender direction, it comes from application layer to physical layer and receiver side. So we are going to see about each and every layer and what are the functions or what are the things that are being done in that specific layer. So what I have explained earlier, that is OSI model basically focus how the data is being transferred from one device to another. So whenever any data is being transferred, there is two side, that is the sender side, that is from where the data is being transferred, and the receiver side, wherever the data is being collected or being accepted. Okay, so the receiver side starts from physical layer to application layer, and sender side starts from application layer, that is from wherever the device the data is being transmitted. Application layers, you can just simply remember that all those applications from where we transmit anything, any message or anything, any data, that application layer is the it is being known as the application layer. And then we go till physical layer. So till now I hope this is being remembered. Just remember all these name, so that it will be helpful for you to in the further part of this video. Okay, so the trick is APST and DP. Just mug up or just try to learn as a name. Okay, now just going from downward, or you can just call it the first layer also. It depends on you that how you start learning. So the last layer, or you can say the first layer from the receiver side. Here you can see this is the last layer for sender side, but first layer for receiver side. Okay, fine. So physical layer, what is physical layer? The lowest layer of OSI model. Yes, and is the physical layer. It is responsible for actual physical connection between the devices. Now what does that mean? It simply means how the connection is there. Or if you could remember the topology video where I have explained how the connections are made between the networks, is known as the topology, network topology. That is bus topology, star topology. Just the same way, what is happening in physical layer, we actually it is actually responsible for how the connection is there in between the devices. The physical layer contains information in the form of bits, and the most important part here, all the data are in the form of 0, 1, 1, 0, any like it is in the form of bits. Okay, it is responsible for transmitting individual bits from one node to next. Okay, when receiving data, this layer will get the signal received. Okay, because we are doing, this is the first layer for what? For receiver side. Okay, as soon as the data is being received, this layer will get the signal received and convert it into zeros and one. It is actually zeros, don't get confused, zeros and ones, because what is there? The main thing is that here everything is in the bit form. Okay, bits, and send them back to the data link layer, because if you could remember, after physical layer what we have the data link layer. And I hope I have already used this name in the earlier videos also. Like I have told you where one network device, if you could remember, just comment it out. I have told you one networking device is working in, actually it is working in data link layer. Okay, so here, yeah, so zeros and one, what is the main purpose? It actually converts it in the bits, zeros and ones, and send them to the data link layer, which will put the frame back together. Now in data link layer, what we do, all the data are actually made as a frame, and then it is put back together. So just summarizing everything, the first thing is that it is the first layer, or you can say the lowest layer of OSI model. Then what is there? It actually represent, or it is responsible for how the devices are connected. Then The next thing is that it contains information, or whatever the data is being received, it is being received in the form of bits. Okay, the important point. And also whatever the bits, it is responsible for transmitting individual bits from one node to another. Next, okay, now this layer will get the signal received. Whenever, as soon as the signal is being received, it convert it into zeros and one. Okay, and that zeros and ones are sent to data link layer. Okay, so I hope now you are clear with what is, if someone asks you that what is the what are the functions that happens in physical layer, so you can easily tell them. Okay, okay, fine. As we have already now we have the idea that what happens in physical layer. Now we will just summarize it with the main functions of physical layer. The first is bit synchronization, then bit rate control. The important point that we have we know is that all the data that is being received, it is in the form of bits. Okay, and it is the signals are converted into zeros and one. Then the type of signal, like how the networking devices are connected, or what is the format in which, or we can say what is the topology that is uh, between the devices. Okay, then transmission mode. Okay, so these are the main functions of physical layer. So what does bit synchronization means? Okay, so by the name, bit, we know that what is a bit. Okay, now like basically whatever the format of our data was, about it was in the format of zeros and one. Okay, either zero, either one. So bit synchronization, basically it provides the synchronization of the bits by providing a clock, or you can say that the order how the data, or how the bits are being transferred, or it is being sent. So the synchronization is very important, like which bit will go after which bit, that's the most important thing that we need to consider. So there is a clock that basically consider this or that basically focuses on this part. This clock controls both sender and receiver, thus providing synchronization at bit level. Okay, so I hope now you are clear with how bit synchronization work is being done in physical layer. Next is bit rate control. It is basically the number of bits sent per second. Basically we can say that in 1 second how many bits are being sent. Okay, now the third part I have already explained, basically the how our devices are being connected, specify the way in which the different devices are arranged. Okay, bus topology, star topology, mesh topology. You can check the topology video for more explanation. Transmission mode, this one also I have explained. The simplex, half duplex, and the full duplex. I hope you guys remember. I have actually covered this in, I think, first video, I guess. Simplex, half duplex, and then full duplex. What does that mean? It simply means that whenever we are transmitting any data, then there is a format which is being followed. That means if we are transmitting any data from suppose A to B, now simplex means that only one direction can be followed. That is, if A is transferring the data from B, then it is not possible that B will transfer the data from B to A. It is not possible. Only one direction is being followed. The data is being transmitted in one direction. Half duplex means the data will be transmitted in both the direction, but not at the same time. Okay, one by one it is possible. But in full duplex, we can have at the same time both the devices can share the data. Okay, two direction. It is two direction. Okay. So I hope all the four functions are clear in physical layer. Now you can answer it, and I hope the concept is also clear. Basically what happens in bit synchronization, it provides a clock that basically focuses on how the bits are being transmitted. Okay, what are the networking device that are having that takes part in physical layer. So I hope you remember hub. What is hub? It is used to connect multiple devices, and it does not focuses on how the how the data are moving. So you guys can just go and watch all the, like in networking device I have explained each and every networking device in detail. So hub, I hope it is clear. Hub is there in physical layer, repeater is there, modem is there, cables are there in physical layer. All the basic things, because we know that hub is not going to provide us any kind of network. What was the main thing that hub was doing? It was just connecting the devices and focusing on how the devices are connected. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Next we are going to see about data link layer. Now this is the second layer after physical layer. The data is being transmitted to data link layer. Now by the name only, what does data link layer do? The data link layer is responsible for the node to node delivery of the message. Okay, it is node to node delivery. The main function of this layer is to make sure data transfer is error free. That is, whatever the data, whatever the bits that we have got from a physical layer, we need to make sure that it is synchronized, because the synchronization part was there in physical layer. So we need to make sure that it is error free from one node to another over the physical layer. Okay, now next, when a packet arrives in a network, here just remember that what is a packet. Packet is simply the data only. The only thing is that it is the encapsulated form of data. Okay, it is what is the purpose of a packet? Normal in day-to-day life, what do we call a packet? A packet is something that hides something. Just like that, packet is in the computer network is encapsulated form of data. It is responsible for of DLL. It is responsibility of DLL, that is data link layer, to transmit it to the host. Host is the main system that is actually working. Okay, using its MAC address. Now this is very important. Here comes the role of MAC address. By the help of MAC address only, what we do, I hope you know what is the difference between MAC address and IP address, because I've already created a video, you can just watch it. So by the help of MAC address only, this data link layer is working. Now you can just recall all those devices that I've already named the earlier videos that works with the help of MAC address. Okay, now so data link. Now the main functions of data link layer. What are the things that happens in this layer? So the data, what I have explained was that a packet is what? It is the encapsulated form of the data. But in data link layers, in this layer, the data is known as, or it is called as framing. So framing is the main function that is being done in data link layer. And what was the other thing that we have learned? That is, it focuses on MAC address. Like we usually send the data to or from one device to another by the help of the MAC address of the devices. Okay, so first, coming to the first point, what is framing? So framing is a function of data link layer. It provides a way for a sender to transmit a set of bits that are meaningful to the receiver. That means, like suppose if we what was the format of the data in physical layer? Like in physical layer, we were having bits in the form of bits. Okay, 1 0, or basically zeros and 1. The data was in the format of zeros and 1. But basically what happen in framing, it provides a way, it provides a direction how the data is going to being transferred, and it should provide some meaningful set, or it provides some meaning to the receiver. Okay, this can be accomplished by attaching special bit pattern to the beginning and end of the frame. Means it actually provides some pattern by which the data can be recognized, that what it actually represent. Okay, I hope you are being clear what I mean. Basically it what it does, it attach a special bit. A special bit is being attached at the beginning and at the end of the bits, and then that makes some pattern. Okay, next is physical addressing. Framing we have covered. What is physical addressing? So it is physical addressing or physical address is basically the MAC address, media access control address, that we have also seen. If you haven't watched that video, you can go to that video and watch the difference between IP and MAC address. It is in the NIC card provided by the NIC manufacturers. They provide us. Okay, so after creating frames, as soon as the frame has been created, basically what happens in frame, it provides a special pattern by which the receiver will get some like there is some meaning to the data. Okay, so data link layer adds physical addresses. Now what happens, that frame, whatever the frame that we are getting, that has that now has a physical address or the MAC address of sender or receiver in the header of each frame. Means suppose we are having a frame, here is the frame. Now in the header what we have a MAC address of sender and receiver. Okay, next is error control. We already know that the bit synchronization part is covered in physical layer, but what we need to check, that whether the data is error free or not. So data link layer provides the mechanism of error control in which it detects and retransmits damaged or lost frames. If any frame is being lost or damaged, then we retransmit it or detect it. Okay, flow control. Now what is flow control? So the data basically the bit rate, we know that bit rate was controlled in physical layer, but here we just check whether the bit rate, or we can say now we are not having bit, we are having the frames. Okay, so we will check that whether the data rate must be constant on both the sides, else the data may get corrupted. Okay, that is the sender side and the receiver side, the bit rate should be same or the data rate should be same, otherwise there will be some corruption. Okay, now then access control. Now in which which device is having the total control. Okay, when a single communication channel is shared by multiple devices, MAC sublayer of data link layer helps to determine which device has the control over the channel at a given time. Okay, means basically it explains us that which device has the main control. Okay, so I hope you are clear with what is a framing and mainly what type of data we get in data link layer. So whatever the data that is being, or bits that we have received from physical layer, that is being called as frames in data link layer. Why it is called as frames? Because framing is a function that is being done in data link layer, and in framing what does it happen? It provides a special bit attached in the beginning and the end of the bit, and it provides a special pattern by which the data or the bits is having some it is having some meaning to the receiver. Okay, so not repeating it again, switch and bridge are data link layer devices. Why? Because I've already explained this, that it focuses or it works on MAC address. Okay, so yeah, I hope you are clear with this. Next, going to the next layer, that is network layer. Okay, so in network layer, before going to network layer, I hope you guys remember router. In network device we have seen this networking device, that is very important. Router basically works in a network layer. It is the main device, networking device, that is working in the network layer. What was the features of router? If you could remember, just comment it out. router was working with IP address, yes, and it was also what it was doing, it was actually working in the routing. Like if you remember the routing process, it used to find the shortest path that can help the data from transmitting from one device to another in short time or in less time. Okay, so network layer also works from the for the transmission of data from one host to other located in different networks. It also takes care of packet routing. Now whatever the frames that we have received from data link layer, now it is known as packet in network layer, and basically it is also focusing on packet routing. That means I hope you now getting what is routing. Focuses on the shortest path, that is selection of shortest path to transmit the packet from the number of routes available. Okay, now the sender and receiver's IP address are placed in the header by the network layer. Now we already have in frames, what were the things that we were having in frames? We were having a special kind of bits that was attached in the beginning and the end of the bit set. Okay, and then one more thing was there, MAC address was there. Okay, now the network layer is attaching IP address also. MAC address was there and IP address is also there. Okay, so now we have the packets, or the data is called as packets. Okay, next, what are the function of network layer? I hope the by the definition only we know what is the function. The first thing is routing, that is selecting the shortest path, and then logical addressing, that means the IP address. IP address basically tells the uniquely identify the network whatever the network that is being attached, it is signifying the it is identifying that network. Okay, so network layer is implemented by networking device such as routers. Now this is the main example that works in network layer. Okay, so moving further, next we have transport layer. Okay, so this is one of the most important layer in OSI, that is the transport layer. It basically provides the services to application layer. So why we are going directly to the application layer? Now I won't tell you that because it is actually something related to TCP or TCP model. Yeah, it is what that is being followed now. OSI model is not followed, but TCP is actually being followed. Now I will tell you that in most probably in the next video. Okay, so there what is happening, the data in the transport layer is referred to as segments. Now earlier what were the things? First frames, then packets, like first we were having bits, then frames, then packets, and then now we are having segments. Okay, so segmentation is a function of transport layer that is being done in the transport layer. So what happens in segmentation? Okay, we are going to see it is responsible for the end to end, like the way in data link layer we have seen that there is node to node. This is the end to end delivery of the complete message. Okay, so the transport layer also provides the acknowledgement of the successful data transmission and retransmits the data if an error is found. So by reading this only we can clearly tell that what are the features. First, segmentation, that is whatever the frames that we have received, packets that we have received. Now packets, what were the things that was there in packets? First, the frame part was there, that is the MAC address and the bits with special bits attached, and then also the IP address we have it. Okay, and that too error free, we have checked all those things. Now in transport layer we will again check the error. Okay, and if it is found, it is being retransmitted. Okay, now so yeah, that's the main function. I hope it is clear. Okay. So data in the transport layer is called as segments. Yes, I have already explained that. The transport layer is operated by the operating system. So whatever the device that is being worked or that is there, the main transport layer is operated by the operating system. Okay. It is the part of OS and communicates with application layer. Directly we are going to the application layer. I will also tell this reason most probably in the next video why we are going to the application layer, because mainly in TCP we are going to short this 7 layer. Okay, we are going to short or we are going to merge few layers and we will short this layer. Okay, there will be few number of layers will be there. Okay, and after transport layer we are going to direct jump to the application layer. That's why we are calling this application layer by making system calls. That's why the main reason the most important layer is transport layer. Why? Because that's the important reason where we are going to segment or we are going to make the we are going to acknowledge the data, as well as we are going to check whether the data is error free or not, and that's why it is called as heart of the OSI model. Okay, so yeah, fine. Now we are going to see about the session layer. Okay. Okay, now we will be starting the session layer. So we know that session layer is in between the transport layer, and then we have the presentation layer. Okay, we are having these two layers, and in between we are having this session layer. So what is happening? The synchronization part, the most important feature, the most important function that happens in session layer is synchronization. And then first the establishment of session, suppose if we are sending the data from one device to another, so the establishment of that session or the starting it is considered in session layer, or basically you can say the termination also, the when it will end, and what are the the maintenance part that is focused in session layer. Then second is synchronization. Now I have already explained what is synchronization. This layer allows a process to add checkpoints which are considered as synchronization points into stream of data. Means it checks it will check simultaneously whether the data are synchronized or not. Then we have dialog controller. Now what is that? This layer allows you to, means it basically means that either the transmission mode is either half duplex or full duplex. So this layer allows two systems to start communication with each other in half duplex or full duplex. So that's the dialog controller function. And then there is one more, token management. This layer prevents two parties from attempting the same critical operation at the same time. That is known as token management. That's also done, token management. Okay. Next we will go for the next layer, that is presentation layer. Okay. So this is the most important layer, or you can say in this layer what is happening. Wait. So presentation layer is also called as translation layer. The data from the application layer is extracted here and manipulated as per the required format to transmit over the network. Basically, after from the application layer we are having the data, okay, in during sender part, sender is starting from application layer and going to the last part. Okay, so APST, what we were having, APST and DP, physical layer, A to P, physical layer we are going. So in sender part what is happening, first we will get the data from application, and then in presentation layer basically we present anything that is being formatted in which format we need to transmit. So basically it is extracted here and manipulated as the required format, the format in which it is need to be transmitted. Basically the encryption part. That is, you know that for security purpose, we never directly sends any data. We never directly send the data in the raw format. What we do, we encrypt and decrypt. Encrypt if we want to send it in during the sender's part, like in the sender part, we do encryption, and when the data is received, it is decrypted. Okay, so in presentation layer, we actually do this, and the first function is translation. Translation basically means, also known as, the presentation layer is also known as translation layer. Why? Because we are extracting the data and translating it. Okay, we are translating in the format we want. Okay, and also the compression. Now here compression simply means that it carries out data compression to reduce the bandwidth of the data to be transmitted. So basically what we are doing, we're reducing the bandwidth. Okay, and here in translation part, what we are doing, we are actually translating it into bits. Okay, if you could remember, in physical layer also I have explained why we are transmitting it or translating it into bits. Okay, so before being transmitted, information in the form of characters and numbers, any form, should be changed to bit streams. Okay, so I hope these three functions are clear, because that is very important. After application layer, these are the this is the layer that is working, and it is actually important. Why? In the security purpose, because we are doing encryption and decryption, and like it depends from which direction you are moving. Like if you are going from senders to receiver side, then encryption will be done, and receiver to sender side, then decryption will be done. Okay, fine. Okay, next and the last layer that we have is application layer. Now this is the most important layer and the most basic one, because whenever we need to send any data, then what we need, any platform, the platform from where we can send, like suppose messenger, any message you want to send, then what do you need? An application from where you can send the data or send the message. So that's the application layer. At the very top of OSI reference model stack of layers, we find application layer, which is implemented by the network application. These application produce the data, because we know that this is the platform where we type the data or we send the data, which has to be transferred over the network. This layer also serves as a window. Why? Because that's the platform that is working as the for transmitting, okay, for the application services to access the network, and for displaying the received information to the user. Because any data that we sends, it is not in the format of 1010. We don't write like this. Do you even know why? If you will find someone sends you message like 10010, I don't think you will understand what he or she is what he or she is sending, but computer understands it. Okay, so for this what we write in the form of number or characters. So that's the platform where we can write it. And after that, the presentation layer, the transport layer, session layer, these layers work for transmitting it in bits. Okay, because after application layer, we are going to presentation layer, and that is translating it into bit stream. Okay, so example, application, browser, Skype, Messenger, WhatsApp, anything. Okay, application layer is also called as desktop layer. Okay, so I hope this important OSI model is clear to each and every one of you. And if you are having any doubt in any layer, you can just comment it out, so that I will make another video specifying that specific layer, so that if there is any doubt, you can get it clear there. Okay, you can just ask it in the comment section. So just summarizing each and everything, I will just end this video. Oh, okay, wait a second. I will just give the functions. Okay, the functions of application layer, we already know that it works as a window. Okay, so first, network virtual terminal, file transfer access and management, mail services, and directory service. Now, what is network virtual terminal? It is a communication concept describing a variety of data terminal equipment with different data rates, protocols, codes, and formats. So basically, I would like to just you can remember these functions like mail services, directory services. Now, the important thing that we remember the function is that it is working as end to end. Okay, so here, file transfer management basically means the access of file, how it is being accessed, like who is having the access to see that file or to transfer it. Okay, so by the name only you can understand what are the functions of application here, and most importantly, I hope you are clear with what it actually means. So by this we come to the end of our video, and most importantly, now currently we are not using OSI model, we are using TCP. So I will make video on that, but this is very important topic because in many competitive exams questions are being asked from this, and this is the basic model, so you need to learn this. So I hope you guys like this video. Do like and subscribe. Thank you.